All right, so I'm passing out Sharpies. You are going to take the Sharpie and you are going to write your name on the front of the book. You can see hers is right here. Mine's bigger on my book. You're going to write your name on the cover of the book, just like that. Then you're going to write your name on all three edges, just like that. So take your Sharpie and do that now, please. Everyone needs to have it. The reason why you need it is because when you come in, so today was AP World's first day of Barron's book was due. So they've done their first review test today. So they come in, Barron's book's on table, they stack them here. Okay, we go through the normal do now, get started with the test, pass out the test, and start working on the test. I literally pick up the books from the table, I put them right here, I start grading them. Once I'm done with grading them, I put them back on the table. Once they're back on the table, they're for you to take. You will never not be without the Barron's book, except for maybe 15 feet. That is where it will be, and that's where it will shift. So it's important that you have your name on in 3 different places, and so when it's stacked in a pile, you can grab the right book. Because I've had, like today, for instance, I had 2 Graces. I had a Grace makeup test, and I have a Grace in a class, and they stole each other's books. I mean, obviously not on purpose, but... So please make sure your name is on the cover so it's easy for me to figure out who you are before I start grading. And then please make sure you have it on the sides because you're going to need to grab them. All right, so while you're doing that, please take out your scope and sequence chart that you had the opportunity to pick up 2 weeks in a row and your vocab packet. Those are the only 3 things I need plus a pen. I do kind of feel bad for Kat, though.
Yeah, I also feel bad for Kaylee.
Kaylee? Oh, yeah. So my girl Kaylee. So AP World finished it the week before right before spring break. One of my girls, who is like uber always prepared. She works incredibly hard for me. She brought it to Haiti with her. Worked on it. She said she got more than 75% done with the first section. Left her book in Haiti.
Oh.
Well, I can't accept it, and she knew that, so she had to buy a book the Sunday before, and she had to redo it. I know. Okay, so while we're talking about AP World, I want to tell you a little bit of a difference between AP World and you. First of all, as you can see with these Barron's books, Kat, I just said this breaks my heart. Kat, look at mine. You can look at mine. Okay, so what I need you to understand about AP Psych versus AP World. Both of you are doing Barron's books. Have you seen my kids wandering around with their little books? Okay. Their lives are worse than yours. I have no sympathy for anyone who is not prepared during review. If you can believe, you saw the nicest person I'm ever going to be to you for the last 29 weeks. During actual teaching, that's as nice as I'm going to be. I think you would all agree I'm very patient with makeup work and very kind about makeup work. Can you agree? Some of you turned in a test in week 20 last week. Okay, so I'm very patient with makeup work. I understand I give a lot of work. I understand that I ask a lot of you, and that is kind of hard to weigh against other comparisons, my contemporaries, but I understand that. In review, I'm not playing. I have 5 weeks from Monday to get you prepped for this exam, and I will. I have 5 weeks. So with that being said, you're going to be held to a really high standard, okay? So what is that standard? On the back of your scope and sequence, flip it over. You're going to see a blank space. You're going to write this down. So what am I expecting from you? This is what is going to be how things are going to look for the next 5 weeks. So you're going to get 150 points, Kat. I got you.
This one?
Yeah, this one. It's a review one. Okay, you're going to get 150 points for your Barron's book, and it's going to be due every Friday. Every Friday it's due. I don't need to see it Monday through Thursday. You will see that you'll be carrying it around because you're going to fill it in whenever you can, so I naturally see them anyway. But technically, I don't need to see it again until next Friday when it's due. Now, when you walk into class, it's due the moment you walk into class. Okay? You walk into class, you put it here. So say Brittany comes into class and she says she's not done with it. So she doesn't turn in, she takes her test and she leaves. Brittany will get a 0. I am going to call her out in the middle of class. But she will get a 0 for her Barron's book with no makeup. Please look at me when I say this. Look at me. Look at me. There is no makeup work for Barron's. There is no makeup work for Barron's. When you come in to take your test, your Barron's book is due. Okay? So, I have kids who are on the chorus field trip or in my AP World class. They had a test today. A couple of them took their test today, so they gave me their Barron's book today. Some of their kids weren't coming to school at all, so I'm getting their Barron's book on Monday when they take their test. If you sit for a test, your Barron's book is due. Is that clear? I had a kid today get a 60 out of 150. Okay? Because he did a terrible job on his Barron's book. There is no makeup for that. There is no way he'll be able to recover those points. No way. No way. If your mama calls me and says, oh my God, Miss Bennett, my son, my daughter just earned a really crappy score on Barron's points. Can she do anything to make it up? Can he do anything? I'm going to say no. The responsibility is to have it done. There is no makeups. Is everyone clear? It is due when you walk in. There is no makeups. There's no oops. There's no slipping. You're held accountable. You have 5 weeks. So you're going to have 70 points for a weekly test. There are 35 questions each. It's all AP. It is all AP. So what I'm going to do, because this is a new review, I will spend my weekend looking at 5 AP tests, writing down what section they come from, and then I'll sit there and I'll cut them out, the questions, and I'll glue them on a piece of paper, and then I will photocopy them, and then those are the test questions you're going to have. Okay? So it is literally AP questions just on the topics I'm covering that week. Does that make sense? All AP. None of the easy ones. No just straight up definition unless AP decide to give you a straight up definition, which they do. Okay? But overall, it's straight AP questions. There's no real fluff ones. You got to know your content. 40 points for vocab. Okay? Do we have any questions? Okay, we get the vocab one. And then you get 20 points for do now. So the vocab component does have a little bit different, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So, what is class going to look like? What it's going to look like is when you show up on Monday, you're going to pick up a do now. Okay, do nows will always start on Monday, turn in on Friday. Monday is going to be, so we have 5 weeks till your AP Psych exam. Did you know on your AP Psych exam, you have 2 FRQs? You have 100 multiple choice and then 2 FRQs. What haven't we done? Yeah, because I hate them. I grade so many damn essays with AP World. It hurts me to decide to do it for AP Psych. So with that in mind, we need to start writing. Can we agree? Like, we've delayed long enough, and I've tried to delay as long enough. So what we're going to do is on Mondays, I'm going to be doing FRQs with you. I choose Mondays, not because I like Mondays. I think that's a terrible day to start writing, but it's fine. So that way, on whatever we start in class, it's your responsibility to finish at home. Okay? So if I did it on Thursday night, did it on Thursdays, what would you have to be doing on Thursday night? Finishing your Barron's book and finishing up the essay I gave you. I thought that was kind of dirty. So if I do it on Monday, you technically have all week to work on your Barron's book. So I thought that was a nicer exchange. Hence why I did that. So what is your homework actually going to look like? Your Barron's book is entirely your responsibility. You may get like 5 minutes today to work on it in class. You will never see that time again. Your Barron's book is your responsibility and not mine. I'm going to be using your time in class wisely. We're going to have discussions. I'm going to be reteaching stuff. I'm going to be showing you AP exam questions. We're going to be going over diagrams. We're going to be doing a ton of stuff. Your Barron's book is not my job. It's yours. There's really only 3 things that you'll have for homework. You're being prepared for your vocab quizzes, completing your Barron's book, and finishing up any writing assignment that we start in class. Those will only be giving out Monday and Tuesday at the latest. Is everyone clear on those expectations? So, what do you need to bring to class? You need to bring your binder with the content of that specific week in it to class. So, first week of content, we're covering history and perspectives, research, and biology. I'm expecting every single one of you to bring to class, if only that, which is fine by me, research, history and perspectives, and biology. Because when I'm going over biology and I'm talking about the neuron, I'm going to have you pull out your little neuron sheet. You know the little thing we did with all the information in there? Why would I do it twice? We've already done it once. You have to understand, we've already learned this information. Hopefully when you think back about everything we've done in AP Psych, you feel like you've learned a lot. Would you agree? We've done some really great things. I'm not redoing everything. I'm simply refreshing. So the expectation is I say, hey guys, pull out your little neuron sheet. If you don't have your actual neuron, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because those get... No. I don't really care about your actual neuron, like pipe cleaner thing. That was more of an activity to make the sheet make sense. I'm looking for the actual diagram. Do you have yours, Drew?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so proud. Okay, so with that being said, when I say, like when we get to bio part 3 for us, which is really part of this, I say pull out your brain diagram. Those are the things you should be studying with. Those are the things I'm going to be referencing in class. That's what you need to have. So a lot of my AP World kids, they're doing it by periods. They have a little binder that they've been bringing, or a folder with just period 1 and 2 content. Just now it's going to switch to period 3. You don't need to have everything I've ever given you. That's a lot. You just need to have what I'm covering, okay? So what am I covering by week? If you flip it over to the front, okay, write 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Those are the weeks. So just in case you get confused, let's tell you the weeks I'm covering. What week I'm covering what? So for week 1, also known as week 30, I'm doing pages 41 through 87. That's your responsibility. It will be due on Friday. I'm going to explain exactly what I want here in a second. The biggest thing I want you to look at is the vocab. Okay, you have a vocab quiz on Monday. Take a peek at your vocab sheet, please. Who can tell me what are the first 10 words of week 1? Who can just read off the terms for me? Brittany.
You want the definitions?
No, just the words.
Psychology, monism, dualism, nature-nurture controversies, school of structuralism, school of functionalism, behavioral approach, psychoanalytic, psychodynamic approach, humanistic approach, biological approach.
There you go. Okay. So, so on Monday, that is your vocab quiz. Those 10 words. Okay? Who can tell me the first 3 words of Tuesday's vocab? First 3 words of Tuesday's vocab. Lee.
Theory, hypothesis, and application.
Okay, who can tell me the first 3 words of Wednesday's vocab? Wednesday's vocab, what are they? Dibs.
Glial cells, neuron, and cell body.
Okay, who can tell me Thursdays? The first 3 words of Thursdays. Thursdays, who's got them? The line.
Neuropsychologist.
Nope. Nope, thank you for doing exactly what I wanted you to. It looks like it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, but I skipped to 5 because I think those words are harder and more important, so I skipped it. Some weeks they go literally, like the next week is 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it goes 11, 13, 14, 16. You need to be paying attention to the weeks. When you show up to my class on Monday and you're prepared for Monday's quiz, you take it. If you show up Tuesday and be like, oh man, Miss Bennett, I missed it, I don't care. I do not care. My kindness is gone. If you are not prepared for the quizzes, you get whatever grade you deserve. So if you end up sitting there figuring out a couple of them in the time, then you can get your 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 because these words should sound somewhat familiar. Can we agree? However, there is no makeups because you're unprepared. Is that clear? There has to be accountability. There's 5 weeks to go. It is your responsibility to be prepared. I have them on my board. I'll have them there every single week. They're on your scope and sequence. There is no excuse for not knowing what week. Okay, so what are the first 3 words of Thursday's vocab quiz? What are they? Brittany.
Frontal lobe.
See, I did it too. I just assumed. See? Yeah. I did the same. So, I mean, it's easy to assume, clearly, because I was pissed off. I wasn't really reading, you know. What is it, Alexandra?
For Thursday?
Yep. Just the first 3.
Frontal lobes, temporal lobe, and
Aphasia. Perfect. Everyone understand how the vocab works? It's the first 10 words of whatever week it's stated. Everyone clear? I'm going to post another vocab packet today on my website. Help yourself if you need a page. Is everyone good? All right. So, what's up?
So like everything that we've done so far, like all of our focuses and all our study guides, are we going to still like utilize this
Yes.
study?
Oh, 100%. That's why you are bringing that stuff to class.
Oh, so when you say like the material, you're talking about things that we've
I'm talking about do nows, focus, not do nows, you don't care. Focus, study guides, and like all of like the graphics and stuff that we've done throughout the year. Because guys, I'm not reteaching it to you. We're refreshing. You've worked really hard all year. It's about damn time it starts paying off. Can we agree? It's really hard throughout the course of the year to really see the big picture of it. Now you're going to see the big picture of how hard you worked and how well you are prepared. But we're not there yet. We are not there yet. We have 5 weeks to prepare, and we will. But we're going to look at all of the resources we've worked hard to make. Because there's no point in me doing another neuron map with you. Can we agree? Looking at it, talking about it, pointing out the big key things, having you go over it, refresh. Yes, making a new one does us no good. It's a waste of time, which is why you need to bring your resources. Yes?
So week 16 is week 19. That's the same thing.
It's all rotated through, whatever the rotation is.
Oh.
This is going to reflect the new numbers that we wrote in. All right, so getting back to my expectations of you. So here is AP Psych's book. Here's AP World's book. Okay, AP Psych is much thinner. For many, it's physically thinner. And if you look at your book, you have tests in your book. Every chapter, every section, you have little tests in yours. AP has none. It's straight up content. They have smaller columns. They have smaller font. They have more content. They're working, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, they're working harder than you are. They have just more stuff because AP World sucks. Can we agree? So, you have the same expectation as my sophomores. So read through the book, annotate the book. If you can't get it done, I have no sympathy for you. As you found out last week, some of these people are up till 2 o'clock in the morning because they didn't take it as seriously. You have less content, and if you're staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning, what the hell have you been doing all week? Okay? You have less stuff. Psychology is way better than AP World. So if you come at me, and I'm not very sympathetic because you as an AP Psych student couldn't figure it out, don't be mad at me. It's not my fault. All right. So what I would like you to do is please open your book to page 31. No, open it up to 3. Okay, so if you look at page 3, you're going to see a diagnostic test. This diagnostic test is really, really nice. You're going to be taking it after week 3. This will tell you what you do and do not know. Okay, so if you flip through, you're going to see it's 100 questions. They're really great questions. But the reason why I choose Barron's books every time, like for instance, for AP Psych, I obviously choose Barron's. AP World, I choose Barron's. But if I taught a push, I would choose 5 Steps to a 5. I wouldn't do the Barron's book for a push. Okay, every study book has their strengths. Some have their weaknesses. I don't like their A-push one. The reason why I like Barron's for both APs, specifically for AP Psych, because they don't do it for AP World, is they have really great answers explained. So they're not just saying, oh, you're wrong. They're saying you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong, and I think that's really important because we are studying for a test. If you open your book to page 41, okay, I gave Kat my book. So this is why this one's full of writing and it's a little bit different than yours. So when you are looking at page 41, you're going to see that there's a box on the chart, correct? On every single chapter opening, you're going to see a key terms and key people. There's nothing you need to do with this chart. Nothing. Okay? But it's important that you do kind of look at it. Okay? So you'll see that we have writing here. Keep turning. Okay? Then you're eventually going to come to the test section. Now, last year I had them do a little bit differently, but this year. So, every single section, you have 3 sections you're covering per week now, since I have 5 weeks. So, you're going to have to take these quizzes after every single section. It's part of your 150 points. Instead of having you write it on a separate sheet of paper, which is what I made last year's kids do, which got really annoying. And I regretted it, so I changed it. You're going to take the quiz in the book. You're just going to mark it off. Then you're going to check your answers. If you turn the page, you're going to see how the answers are right there for you. You could cheat the whole time. Isn't that so exciting? Isn't that a great revelation? How surprising. You could cheat the whole time and really fool me good that you were brilliant. Is that going to help you at all? No. So you're going to take the quiz and the little test in your book, and I hope you're doing it for real, seeing what you do and don't know. If you happen to get one wrong, this is what they had to do on a separate sheet of paper. If they got one wrong, they had to They had to annotate it. They had to write why they got it wrong. And they had to do it on a separate sheet of paper this year. This year, I'm just going to have you guys write it in the column. Okay? For everyone you got wrong. I'm not looking for full and complete sentences. You know, oops, Wounded, Skinner isn't the founder, Wounded is. That's what I'm looking for. Simple, straightforward. But if you just say, oh, got it wrong, and move on, are you going to fix it? No. So if you keep flipping... Okay, you have all your answers. On this page, there's nothing you need to do on this page.
Wait, if we annotate it, will that make up for like the point we lost?
What point you lost? I don't care if you got them right or wrong.
Oh.
I personally don't care. I care about you going through and doing it.
Okay.
There's no points off for getting your quizzes in your book wrong. There's points off if you are literally not doing a damn thing in your book. Does that make sense? You need to go through, you need to annotate it. All right, so if you look through methods, you're going to see this one is significantly longer. You're going to see they have little tips and stuff throughout their book. Those are really helpful. You're also going to see they have charts here, which are really nice. When you see charts, you do need to annotate them. You need to break it down. So this one is literally explaining this. So you would answer the question, you would break it down, scatter plot, you would look at mean, median, mode, maybe add some information, stuff like that, bell curve, whatever. Now, in methods, it's a little bit harder. As you're going to see, you have another section of a little quiz in your book. Obviously, your answers as you keep going. If you turn to page... I think it's like 81, 70. If you turn to 70, you're going to see how you have a neuron. Thank you. It's been a really long, crappy day. You're going to see you have a neuron. Now, the neurons are important. All of your diagrams are. You do need, so if I was doing this one, I would do how a neuron fires to the size. It goes from synapse to dendrites to soma to axon to axon to myelin. Damn it. It's been a really bad day. I'm really sorry. But that's what I would do. You cannot ignore the charts. The charts are there to simplify information for you. They're not there like the gray parts of your textbook that you ignored every time you did an outline. Don't think I didn't know, people. Just don't think I didn't know. You guys have just skipped right over and just completely ignored its existence. That is not a good thing to do here. They've taken the hardest information and simplified it. You need to address. So someone was like, well, Miss Bennett, what do I do with this chart? Now, this chart's a little bit different from the one you have in your book, which is on page 70, right above your... I would just do like acetylcholine. I would write ACH. I would write, you know, used here, used there, all those different types of things. Does that make sense? Hello? Don't ignore the charts. And this one goes all the way through. This is all of your brain stuff in one. And then, of course, you hit back to the quiz, your tests. Guys, look at how many wasted pages there are where you don't have to do any annotations. Can we agree? It's not that bad. Yes, it's 40-something pages, but 5 pages out of every section. There's 15 pages. I mean, I'm not a math whiz, but it's like not that bad. Okay, so this will take you more time than you're expecting to take. So what am I actually expecting you to do? As you saw me flipping through that, I want you to highlight, read, highlight, and annotate. How many things have you read in your high school career?
A lot.
Have you retained them?
Not every.
Think about how much you've read in your high school career, how smart you'd be if you could retain it. Oh my God. Be like, oh my God, that would be so cool if you were that smart. You'd have no friends, but you'd be really, really smart. I'm just kidding. How many things have you highlighted in your high school career that you have not retained?
A lot.
A lot, absolutely. So reading and highlighting, can we agree, are not the most effective tools for retaining information? Yes. Okay. When you get to college, you're going to have professors that are going to be teaching you who are skilled in they are masters of their craft. Like, for instance, perfect example, I had a professor named Dr. Kevin Smith. What was his real name, even though he wasn't like a kind of pudgy guy with like the weird, you don't know who Kevin Smith is? No, okay. He didn't look like him at all. He had a real Mississippi accent. And it was so disappointing because in my head I really wanted him to be Kevin Smith looking, but it's fine. Anyway, he wrote 4 books on the Middle Ages. Specifically, 3 of those books were on the Black Death. So, every single class, he would be in the front of the room talking about the Middle Ages, and he would always go on this tangent about the Black Death. Well, guess what always wasn't on the test? Black Death. And he would say, well, it was in the readings for this week. Why didn't you do your readings? You're going to have a lot more responsibility in college than you are in high school, for sure. Your professors are going to talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about, and you're accountable for everything else. Okay? That's how it's going to be. How you study for college courses is you get the book and you go through and you read and you annotate as you go through. Because your professors are going to focus on what they like to teach because they're experts in their field. They get to choose what they teach and what they test on. So they get to choose. Because of that, you're going to be held responsible. And you may spend maybe 100 minutes with them, and your test is accumulative on 400 years of history. They can't cover everything, and sometimes they won't choose to. So you have to know how to do the skill, and that's what I'm teaching you. The reason why you have these spaces, these columns, and all of your textbooks and stuff is so you can annotate. That's the reason why they're there. They're not there because it's easier for the printer to print. That's not it at all. They're there for you to make notations and to go through. Okay, so when you see college textbooks, you're going to see that the college textbooks, your writing is very, very narrow, and there's a lot larger of a margin than you are seeing in high school. Why is there a larger margin in college than in high school? You can take notes because what did you do to your college textbooks that you aren't doing to my textbooks? Well, no, because you did what? You bought them, so they're your property, so they assume most people are writing in the books because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Here, how big are your columns in these textbooks? Pretty narrow because they don't want you, they know you're not writing in them. You're not writing in them because you don't own them. You're supposed to be writing in them. So, I'm going to teach you how to do it. So, because I'm asking you to highlight, I'm giving you a gift.
No way.
Yeah. So, here you go.
I have like all the highlighters.
Well, you're going to run out of a lot of them, so you might as well grab one. And I am judging your color selection, by the way.
Wait, then let me.
No, yellow is the only right answer here. Every other color is wrong.
But it's such a nice shape. That's okay. I have yellow. I'll just keep this one.
I will judge, but I will grade whatever you do.
Can I ask you? Okay.
No.
So is the FRQ going to be on like the week 1 or the first?
Yeah.
Like that's
It's going to be that content, yeah.
And will we get to use our notes, or will we have to like?
It's not going to be a timed one. It's going to be, I'm going to teach you how to do it, and then by the end of the 5 weeks, there's going to be.
I don't know. I
a
found
timed
my
report.
sister's.
Remember, you have two.
So I just took them.
You have 2
They're like
full exams, which means you have 2 graded FRQ, 4 graded FRQs because there's 2 per test.
I think the photo one runs out quicker because
Oh, you mean like our practice ones?
Yes, those will be your full
but it's
graded.
running out.
I always lose my house.
Yes.
This is in the dark. Wait.
Alright. Alright. Kat, do you mind if I use my book right now?
Oh yeah.
No, why are you sorry?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Kat. Do you really think someone would steal it?
I think okay, because I put it down on my table in capstone, and like Davis Matthews had all his stuff put out, and he's like picking, and like he's like packing up. So like I think he might have accidentally taken it. So I'm trying to.
Oh, Davis.
You meet again.
I know Davis. Huh?
So how does like to the class during the class we come and we take our we do our do-nows, we take our vocab quizzes, then we just review the material for that week, right?
Yeah, what? Okay, so great question. So she just asked me, what is class going to look like? You're going to come in on Monday, you're going to grab a do-now, you're going to sit and do a do-now, and then I'm going to do an FRQ with you. I'm going to sit here and model what an FRQ is. You're going to watch me write it. You're going to finish. I'm going to do one with you. I'll plan the second one for you, and then you're just going to finish it. Walk you through it. That's going to be your homework.
So
On
that's in our
top.
notebook that we have. Or is that like little details that I'm
You're fussing on details right now. Tuesday is going to be my first like instructional day with the review. On that day, I'm going to go over all of your history and perspectives. I'm going to pull out some of the resources I gave you yesterday and say, hey, this is a big deal. Circle this guy. Highlight this reel for me. I'm going to ask you questions. If I see most of you have no understanding of what humanistic is, I'm going to stop and teach and kind of go over that and what that actually looks like. Wednesday, I'm doing research with you. I'm going to cover only research. Thursday, I'm only doing biology with you. So in class, I'll be actually standing up teaching. We'll be doing boards and all that stuff.
Okay.
So it's actual instruction. I'll be teaching. You ask me questions, and I'll stop what I'm doing. If there's a resource you need that I don't have, I will make it for you. And all that stuff. So it's like literal instruction. Okay. What?
Tomorrow's the first day we need like our binders.
Yeah, you should have just the content from this week, which is history and perspectives, research, and all that stuff. All right. So you are my third class of the day. So we're going to start at biological basis of behavior, which is on page 69. So I'm going to show you how to annotate from this page because I've already done it in history and perspectives. I already done it in that, so you can actually see what it looks like and sounds like. Sounds good? So on this page, you don't ever have to do anything with this box. However, at the end of dealing with this whole unit, you should be able to explain, define, apply every single one of these terms. Okay? All right, so flip it over.
Do you want this done in pen or pencil?
I want it done in pen, but if you're like passionate about pencil, I'm gonna judge.
Oh, I'm so with you.
I love pens. I hate pencils; they make it kind of annoying. But if you want to do it in a pencil, it's fine. If whatever makes you happy, but no, it makes me sad. If we can just be honest about that. Okay, so overview. The influence of biology, sometimes called the neuroscience or biopsychological perspective. The influence of biology. Perfect. So I'm going to write biology.
Oh, now I feel compelled to see that.
Okay, so biology, the neuroscience, or biopsychological perspective is growing. Some researchers predict that someday psychology will be a specialty within the field of biology. An understanding of the biological principles relevant to psychology is needed not only for the AP exam, for your understanding of current psychological thinking. I don't need any of that except for that. So I don't highlight anything else. I don't take any other notes. So neuroanatomy, definitely need that. Neuroanatomy. Okay, refers to the study of parts. Study of parts and functions of neurons. Probably should have highlighted first, but that's fine. Neurons are an individual nerve cell. These cells make up so neurons are individual cells, make up a nervous system. Make up your entire, from the brain to the neurons when you fire to stub your toe, every neuron is made of the discrete parts. Alright, so, do you see what I did? I don't care about the BS, I only care about things that I need to care about. Okay? As soon as I highlight something that's worthy of being highlighted, I annotate it. So, when you're getting into your dendrites, so dendrites are root-like parts, so I would write, because this definition is kind of long, I would write dendrites, receive signal. That's essentially what it's saying, receive signal. Okay, then I would say cell body. First of all, I don't really care about the cell body, I'm going to say soma. Okay, it's the structure. Okay, axon carries message. Okay, so what my highlighting would look like, dendrites grow to make the synaptic connections of the neurons. Cell body contains the, okay, axon carries, and then sheath, terminals, all that stuff. That's all I need. That's all you need to be doing. Okay? I don't need you to rewrite the book. The reason why you own the book, the reason why we're reading the book, is because the book is pretty damn good on its own. It doesn't need you to rewrite it. Can we agree? You're simplifying, you're processing the information, and you're moving quickly through. Does everyone understand what I'm expecting here? Yes? Do not rewrite the book. The book is already done. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to close this because it's going to fall off my desk. Okay, so here's an example of Maria's. Okay, so she got a 5 on my exam. Okay, she got a 5, and it's a lot of this is going to be decided by how much work you put into your Barron. So she worked really hard on her Barron, so she got a 5. Okay, some of you here are flirting between 3s, 4s, and 5s. I think I only have a couple kids that I know are solidly going to get a 5 out of all my classes. I have a bunch of kids that are at 3s that can get 4s, and I have a couple kids flirting with 2s that could be bumped to 3s. Okay, you need to know how well you know your content. If you've struggled all year and you haven't done as well as you'd like on tests and stuff, this is the opportunity to turn it around. Perfect example from today from AP World. I have a girl I just got from the other AP World. She transferred to me. Can you imagine mid-year? Transferring to me. And she's been getting rocked all year. And she came in a little weak, and she's decided that she wants to pass the AP World exam. And she's been busting her butt all week. Today she got her highest score in a test ever, and it was worth more points. And that's because she's literally been grinding it out with her Barron's book. And that's exactly what it is. Caroline, your book's done. You got 150. Nice job. So your Barron's book is going to dictate how well you do. I'm not kidding. If you want a 5, your Barron's book better be damn well. There's only a couple kids who have a 5 right now. But they'd have a 5 without me. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. Your Barron's book, if you don't take it that seriously and don't do that well with it, the problem is that it's going to kind of hurt you in the long run. And you may not do as what you should. In my head, I have a number for every single one of you about how well you're going to do, and it's only going to be confirmed over the next couple weeks taking AP-style tests. Okay, so if you want to do well in AP Psych, which there's no reason why all of you can't get 4s and 5s, you need to take your Barron's book seriously. If you've been struggling all year, this is your only way to catch back up, to compete. Do you understand what I'm saying? I only really have probably 3, maybe 4 kids who are guaranteed 5s. Simone doesn't need me either. Simone definitely doesn't need me either. I mean, and it's not a dig. I mean, most of you are flirting with 4s. You know, if you want the 5, then you really have to grind it out. It's not a mean thing. You're going to see how well you do know your content compared to AP Psych. Compared to AP here on Friday of next week when you take your first all AP. There's no simple questions. There's no softballs here. You know, there's none of that. You have to know your content. There is a big difference between the actual AP exam and to what the expectation of the AP exam is here at Plant. All of you took AP Psych thinking it was the easiest AP because that's what you heard. That's the culture here at Plant. Can we agree? It is 100%. It is so much easier than AP World. It is so much easier than A Push. It is enjoyable almost at times. It's still an AP course. If you're not prepped for that AP, you won't pass it. For having an easy exam, the pass rate of Plant High School overall is low. So when you hear people say, oh my God, it was so easy, they probably didn't pass because the pass rate really isn't that high here at Plant High School when you look at all things considered. You hear what I'm saying? If you're not prepared, you will easily fail. Some of my students who got an AP on AP World got a 5, got a 3 on AP Psych. If you don't take it seriously, you're going to get worked because it is an AP exam and you are getting compared to every other student in the country and around the world because it's a standardized test. There's a curve. You got to beat the curve. So, this is how we do it. You will be incredibly successful. My students always do incredibly well, especially the students who take the Barron's book seriously. I had a kid who got rocked all year, never made it on the wall, and he decided that he wanted to get on this AP exam. He poured his heart into his Barron's book, got a 4. I literally cried when I saw his name on the list. And he's going to study psychology in college.
Aww.
Anyway, if you want it, it's yours. But it depends on how hard you want to work. You've worked really hard all year. You got 5 weeks. After that, we're watching movies, man. We're going to take votes, and we're going to pick the movie we're watching, and I don't want to talk to you. You got 5 weeks. Is that clear? All right. So you have a couple more minutes left in class. Any questions, concerns, comments? Yes.
What do we write for this?
I would do How a Neuron Fires.
Oh, the order?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not asking you to rewrite the book.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to take that information and just kind of simplify it. So you got a couple minutes left. You might as well finish. Remember, this is like the only time in class I'm ever going to let you work on your Barron's book. It is due every single Friday and is entirely your responsibility.
Okay, so 41 through 87 is due next Friday, a week from today.
Yes.
What?
What?
Would be a 0 on my outline, but it changed it.
Find it in the box.